Thanks to Enlisted for sponsoring this video.
Watch out, it's a Tiger.
That's not a Tiger, it's a burned out truck.
What about that?
Half-track.
And that?
That looks like a tree. You gotta stop being so paranoid. There aren't that many Tigers to begin with. Our chances of running into one are...
Told you so.
The origin of the Tiger I, arguably Germany's most famous tank of the Second World War, is complex. The development started in the mid-1930s when the industrial firm Henschel & Schon was given the task of creating a breakthrough tank by the German military. While in development, new specifications for the tank were given, including a required armor thickness and the use of a 75mm main gun. After the war broke out in 1939, experiences against French and British tanks led to more redesigns, each prototype building off the previous attempts. In 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa. Though wildly successful, German tanks had issues dealing with the Soviet tanks, especially the moving bunker that was the KV-1, and the ubiquitous T-34, prompting more redesigns. A competition was held for the new heavy tank that could surpass what the Soviets could throw at them, held between Henschel and Porsche. Henschel won the contest, and the Tiger went into production. The final version was a conglomeration of designs from Henschel & Schon, Porsche, and Krupp. It was given the designation Panzerkampfwagen 6 Tiger. The Tiger was given the Roman numeral 1 after the introduction of the Tiger II. Dimensions. The Tiger I was a large tank, designed with many features in mind, subtlety not being one of them. It tipped the scales at an impressive 57 metric tons, or just under 63 US tons, classifying it as a heavy tank. For comparison, the rival T-34 weighed between 26 and 35 tons, depending on the version. The Tiger I is just shy of 28 feet in length, with a width of 10.5 feet and 10 feet in height. The Tiger was so massive, it couldn't count on smaller bridges not collapsing, so it had special features to make sure it could ford across a river. These included an airtight hull and turret, a 10-foot-long snorkel, and a pump to bail out leaking water. Armament. The Tiger I was designed to be able to overpower any opposition with ease. The original 75mm main gun was replaced with an 88mm KWK-36 L56 gun, based on the 88mm flak cannon. The high velocity of the projectile could rip through the toughest armor plating that it faced. It was also equipped with 2 MG-34 machine guns, one mounted in the hull and one coaxial to the main gun. And you can never have too many MG-34s, so one extra could be mounted on the top, which could be used for anti-infantry or anti-aircraft roles. Armor. The Tiger could take a punishment as well as it could dish it out. The frontal armor of the tank was an impressive 100mm in thickness, or about 4 inches. The side armor of the Tiger I was a bit thinner at 80mm, or about 3 inches. The metal used was a homogeneous nickel and steel, which was less brittle than other types of armor and could withstand all but the most powerful anti-tank weapons. The armor was not sloped, giving the Tiger its distinctive boxy appearance. But what was it like to actually be inside one of these steel beasts, commanding it across the battlefield, scanning for threats and returning fire? Well, now you can find out, thanks to today's sponsor, Enlisted. Enlisted is a free-to-play, squad-based first-person shooter set during World War II, available on PC and consoles. It puts you right in the boots of a soldier or a tank commander, fighting in some of the war's most iconic battles. You'll command your own squad of AI-controlled troops while clashing with other players in massive PvP and PvE battles, whether you're storming the beaches, defending a city under siege, or rolling into action in a heavy tank like the Tiger. You'll have access to an enormous arsenal, over 400 historically accurate weapons, vehicles, and aircraft, all meticulously recreated. Choose your nation, Germany, the United States, the Soviet Union, and Japan, and develop your squads by equipping them with gear tailored to their combat role. Ready to take command? Download Enlisted for free today using the link in the pinned comment or video description. PC players who sign up through our link will also receive an exclusive bonus pack including 4,000 silver, 3 days of premium access, 2 weapons, and a helmet for your soldiers. Don't wait, this offer won't be around forever. Engine and performance. The first versions of the Tiger I were fitted with the HL210 21-liter V12 Maybach engine, which had a power output of around 650 horsepower. When this proved to be insufficient for a vehicle the size of the Tiger, it was upgraded to an HL230 23-liter Maybach engine, which could generate over 700 horsepower. This could propel the Tiger at a top speed of around 25 miles an hour, though this was the road speed. Over unpaved ground or uneven surfaces, the top speed was greatly reduced. The Tiger was also a thirsty beast, and the 125-gallon fuel tank gave the Tiger an operational range of between 45 and 75 miles, depending on the conditions. Wheels and suspension. The tank rode on 48 interleaved road wheels, a setup that helped distribute the immense weight of the Tiger, giving it surprising mobility for a vehicle of its size, though it made repair difficult, since several layers of wheels had to be removed to reach an inner wheel. The road wheels had an outer lining of rubber, but supply problems forced the Germans to shift to steel wheels in early 1944. These wheels were more sturdy, and engineers were able to remove 16 of the wheels per side in later versions, streamlining production. The wheels were attached to a torsion bar suspension system, and when combined with shock absorbers, this gave the Tiger I a relatively smooth ride. Crew. The Tiger I had a crew of 5. In the hull was the driver on the left and the radio operator on the right. In the turret was the commander, who was on the back left, the gunner, who was in the front left, and the loader, who was on the right side. Since the Tiger was the premier vehicle in the German arsenal, the crews were hand-selected for their ability and were even sent to the Henschel factories in order to learn the intricacies and maintenance of the tank. Production. The first Tigers were ordered in April 1942, with the first batch sent into combat in August of that year. Due to wartime needs, the production was rushed in order to get them to the front as fast as possible. Because of this, the Tiger I was modified multiple times over its production run, with each new version working out the flaws in the design on the go. Almost every month, a new feature would be added, modified, or removed. The Tiger was also expensive, with each tank costing around 250,000 Reichsmarks. For comparison, the Panzer V Panther cost about half as much. It also took about 300,000 man-hours of labor to build one Tiger, almost twice that of a Panther. Because of these limitations, only around 1,354 Tiger I tanks were built. Production lasted from April 1942 until August 1944, when the Tiger was phased out in favor of the Tiger II. There were alternative variants, including a command vehicle which had extra radios. More famous was the Sturmtiger, or Assault Tiger, which mounted a gargantuan 380mm mortar, which was designed to simply flatten enemy positions. There was also a Tiger with winch equipment, though there was only one known to have that feature, so it was probably an improvised retrofitting rather than a dedicated vehicle type. The Tiger in battle. The first batch of Tigers to roll off the assembly line were sent to the Eastern Front near Leningrad in August of 1942 and had their first major combat operation at the Great Tank Battle of Kursk in 1943. There were some flaws with the Tiger I that plagued an otherwise effective vehicle. It was a complex machine that suffered numerous mechanical failures. The most common issues were from faulty gearbox or engine failures. Many Tigers had to be abandoned after catastrophic breakdowns. Looking at other German tanks of the war, there might be a bit of a theme here. When they were operational, however, there was no tank that struck fear into the heart of the enemy quite like the Tiger. The Allies would watch in horror as the 88mm gun would rip through even the toughest tank with ease, and their return fire bounced harmlessly off the Tiger's hull. Though it was designed as a breakout vehicle, as the war turned against Germany, the Tiger was used defensively, ambushing columns of Allied tanks, causing absolute havoc. A single Tiger in an advantageous position with an experienced crew could devastate enemy formations, vastly outnumbering it. In one example, Tiger ace Michael Whitman destroyed 14 British tanks, 15 APCs, and 2 anti-tank guns in under 15 minutes. Stories like these fueled Tiger phobia, where Allied tank crews lived in perpetual fear of encountering one right up until the end of the war. This was so rampant that Tigers were blamed for destroying Allied vehicles, even when the actual culprit was a different kind of tank or even an anti-tank gun. The fear generated by the Tiger far outweighed its actual effectiveness on the battlefield, a legacy that was cemented in Hollywood films that emphasized its superiority over its adversaries. Even today, the myth persists that it would take 5 Allied tanks to knock out a single Tiger. Today, only a handful of Tigers remain, and only one in operational condition, Tiger 131, located at the Tank Museum in Bovington in the UK. Once again, a big thank you to Enlisted for sponsoring today's video. You can play Enlisted for free right now on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. Just use the link in the pinned comment or video description to sign up. If you're a new player on PC, you'll also receive a special bonus pack that includes multiple items, in-game currency, and premium account time. This is a limited time offer, so don't miss out.